Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about LEGO Ideas. LEGO Ideas is pretty exciting. It's really one of the forerunners of crowdsourcing in general even, and definitely in the toy industry. So it's interesting to examine whether LEGO Ideas is a good role model for crowdsourcing in the toy industry overall. So whether this is really a success model that others should be copying. Let's take a look at what LEGO Ideas is like. First of all, LEGO Ideas truly is the pioneer. It was launched as LEGO Kusu in Japan as early as 2008, as a collaboration between LEGO and the Japanese company Kusu originally. Then it was launched internationally in 2011 and became wholly run by LEGO and renamed LEGO Ideas in 2014. So far, LEGO Ideas has received more than 10,000 proposals from the crowd for new LEGO sets. And 12 LEGO sets for international release have been announced based on LEGO Ideas. And when you compare this to the competition, both Hasbro and Mattel took their very first steps into crowdsourcing only in 2014. So LEGO has years of advantage. Sounds pretty interesting. So how does LEGO Ideas work? The basics of LEGO Ideas. Each project on LEGO Ideas is one LEGO set, so you can't propose a series. You have to propose individual LEGO sets, and you can use any intellectual property you want. LEGO is well known for being able to license quite a lot of intellectual properties. They have licenses on Star Wars, they have licenses on The Lord of the Rings, all sorts of stuff. So you can propose also to use some existing IP on LEGO and then attempt to license it. In order to participate on the LEGO Ideas platform, you have to be at least 13 years old. And then once you are old enough and you have an idea of LEGO set, you need to build that set either from LEGO bricks or using the LEGO Digital Designer, and then upload your model and market it. And then the project has to reach 10,000 supporters in order to be considered by LEGO. However, even reaching that 10,000 does not guarantee anything, because LEGO reserves the right to refuse any project. LEGO holds review sessions 3 times per year, although each set is reviewed in these sessions independently of the others. So there is no set amount of sets that are going to be approved in each session. They are just batching them up. And the final product is going to be created by LEGO's own designers. So even though you created the initial model, it's the LEGO designers who will polish up the set and make the final product. And finally, once the product hits the shelves, the originator of the idea will receive a 1% royalty on the product's net sales. So that's LEGO Ideas in a nutshell. How well does it work? From a lean point of view, I'm always interested in batches and flow and efficiency. So how does flow work when it comes to LEGO Ideas? And it turns out actually there's not that much of flow. Once an idea reaches 10,000 supporters, it waits in a queue for a review period cutoff date. And because the cutoff dates are 4 months apart, and ideas reach 10,000 supporters on any day, so it might take up to 4 months to wait just for the cutoff date. And then when the review period is set and the number of sets that are going to be in the review session are decided, it's going to be another 4 months of waiting before the review session actually takes place. And from that, it's again another 4 months of waiting until LEGO announces the results of the review. And from that announcement, it's going to take another 2 to 8 months for the set to reach stores. So overall, for an idea to become supported by 10,000 people, it's still going to take between a year and a year and a half for the product to actually reach stores. And these are actual results from the sets that LEGO has really created through LEGO Ideas. So that's a really long time. And much of it is because they are batching these reviews and announcements and everything. And most of this time is spent just waiting. Not much of flow. in this crowdsourcing platform. Another problem that LEGO Ideas is facing is the number of rejected projects. So I mentioned that just gathering the support is no way indicative that this is really going to become a LEGO set. And when you look at the stats, the majority of the projects that reach 10,000 supporters are not going to become LEGO sets. In 2013, there were 3 approved LEGO sets and 11 that were rejected. In 2014, there were 5 projects that were approved and 17 that were rejected. Now, some of these rejections may be quite obvious, so there's an IP that LEGO might be unable to license. For example, there was this, and as another example, there was this Zelda set. I'm not sure whether they could have got the IP, but the explanation from LEGO was that the molds would become too complex, so they couldn't produce that. And then there was this suggestion about a set based on Firefly, the sci-fi series, and LEGO remarked that this is for too mature audiences, that their target audience, the core audience, 6 to 11 years old, is too young for this license. But there's a worrisome sign when it comes to rejected projects. It's that once upon a time, LEGO used to give reasons why they are rejecting these projects, like with the Zelda example and the Firefly example. But they have since stopped doing so. And they no longer give the reasons why they reject projects. They just say that these were rejected. And this is very troublesome, because this sort of discussion and transparency is something that's at the very core of what crowdsourcing is about. And perhaps one reason why LEGO stopped giving these reasons is precisely the Firefly case. In that case, many fans pointed out to LEGO that, okay, you already have many IPs that are for these bit more mature audiences, and Firefly is by no means an adult-only series. Maybe not a 6 to 11-year-old series, but definitely not an adult series either. So fans were disagreeing on the reasons that LEGO gave out, and then LEGO just stopped giving the reasons. Not the way to run crowdsourcing. And this is actually resulting in a fair bit of fan alienation. There is a growing number of fans of LEGO Ideas and fans of LEGO who are becoming alienated from the platform, because even if they make a good project and they gather the support, they're just not going to be successful, and they will never even know why. Not a very good thing to do when you're running something based on crowdsourcing. But these problems, the very long lead times, lack of flow, rejected projects, these may point out to a deeper issue and a more general issue at LEGO than just the ideas. That's production agility. Does LEGO have the production agility it needs to successfully run these sort of fast operations? And one particularly interesting case here is production run sizes, and in particular the Research Institute. LEGO has had quite a lot of trouble setting the right production run sizes for LEGO Ideas sets. Some of them remain on the shelves for a very long time, others become sold out, and the main example of set that's being sold out is the Research Institute, which was a LEGO set that contained 3 female scientists, and it became a really popular set. So the first production run was sold out instantly. LEGO made a second production run, it was again sold out instantly. And after that, LEGO just flat out refused to produce anymore. And that's really strange. Why would a company leave money on the table? So there were lots of people who really wanted to buy this product, but the company refused to do it. And the only viable explanation that I can come up with is production agility. LEGO had already scheduled much of its production of its mainstream sets like Friends or CD or Ninjago, and if they had already scheduled much of these, perhaps they simply didn't have the capacity to create more of the Research Institute sets. That's a good explanation for why they didn't make this run and left that money on the table. But it's also a very worrisome sign. Not just for LEGO Ideas, but for LEGO in general. because the world is moving faster and you need to be able to respond faster. And if Lego lacks this sort of agility when it comes to production, then that might spell trouble in the future. So where does Lego Ideas stand? Unfortunately, given all the information that I have given you already, Lego has demonstrated neither belief in nor commitment to crowdsourcing. They're not open to discussion. They are heavily batching this crowdsourcing, having very long lead times, having small production runs, not really scaling their production as needed by the success of the various crowdsourced products. So Ideas, as good as it sounds, at the moment it's for Lego more of a nice marketing gimmick so that they can say that, okay, we have this crowdsourcing. But it's only a gimmick that's serving a very niche market and not something that would be really widely used to shape the future of Lego. However, when you think about the sharing economy, the mega trend of co-creation becoming more common, it should be quite obvious that Lego Ideas could be much more. And Lego had what, a 6-year head start against their main competition, but the competition has awakened. Just this year, Mattel announced partnership with Quirky, a crowdsourcing platform, and Mattel is expecting to get dozens and dozens of new toys from this platform. Whereas Lego, while they were the forerunner, they're not really able to compete. That's worrisome. Not all is bad, of course. There is a lot of improvement potential within Lego Ideas. One thing is the age limit. Lego has limited the age to 13 years because of the US COPPA child protection rules, so that websites that are not serving customers who are under the age of 13 do not have to have such strict privacy regulations and stuff. So they're making it easier for themselves by focusing on an older crowd. However, there is nothing that actually prevents them from using Lego Ideas also for the younger audience, their core audience. They could do it rather easily even. But it would still be a little bit of extra work. So one thing that they could do is to lower the age limit, really get to their core market. Another thing, I already talked about batches, I talked about flow. If Lego is seriously evaluating each project on its own merits and not comparing to anything else, then batching the reviews doesn't make any sense. Lean manufacturing companies learned this as early as the 1950s. Flow is much better than batches. They could start to evaluate the projects as soon as they reach the necessary amount of support. And that way they could make projects run much faster through the pipeline. Of course, here we may run into the problems with production agility. They need to improve their production agility to grasp these opportunities. If that fails, maybe implementing flow in the front end is also not going to work out. And finally, to really get Lego Ideas into a viable and widely used crowdsourcing platform, Lego should stop treating all the supported sets the same. Currently all go through the same process, all are being created into this same sort of set ideology, same sort of production runs. But that doesn't have to be the case. They could variate. Some sets could go to mass production. Some sets could perhaps go to, for example, online-only sales at first, and then upgraded maybe to mass production if they prove to be popular enough. And some sets, because at the moment, for example, most of the large sets are routinely being rejected. But they could become more of a Kickstarter style pre-orders. So if they actually get commitment from enough people, then they could release the set. By making these variations on the ways to handle the supported sets, LEGO would be able to create more of them and create the right type of offering for each type of set and each type of market. And this would enable LEGO Ideas to serve both the core, the mass market, and niche markets, where less fans are, but perhaps fans that are interested in buying more expensive sets. So there are quite a lot of things that could be done to improve LEGO Ideas. And it could rise up to be a real role model for the way crowdsourcing should be done in the toy industry. But as it is, it's really not being something that could be core to the company. And also with, for example, Mattel and Quirky partnership, there's a very real chance that LEGO is going to lose the head start that they have. It's not always the first one who gets the prize. So, that was my thoughts on LEGO Ideas. Review of what it is, what it's not, and what it could be. At the moment, it's more of a marketing gimmick than really part of LEGO's core offering, but it could be so much more. It has huge potential. I'm very interested in that potential. It remains to be seen whether LEGO is going to be able to really put it into good use or not. That was it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. For more thoughts on lean, strategy and business, please visit my YouTube channel, and if you like what you see, remember to subscribe.